यावान् वा अयमाकाशस्तावानेषु अन्तर्हृदय आकाश उभे अस्मिन् या वा पृथिवी अन्तरेव समाहिते उभावग्निश्च वायुश्च सूर्यचन्द्रमसावुभौ विद्युन्नक्षत्राणि यच्चास्येहास्ति यच्च नास्ति सर्वतदस्मिन् समाहितमिति।
This space is the very evidence of our existence. It exists beyond the apparent paradoxes and simultaneously lives in both. It can be all-pervasive, vyapta, and subtle, sukshma at the same time, inclusive, samavishta, as well as detached or alipta. It takes on various forms, akar, while being formless, nirakar. Though attributeless, nirgun, it embodies countless qualitative saguna attributes. From this space arise innumerable diverse forms that we encounter in our everyday lives. Isn't it the ultimate canvas of all life? As the Chinese saying goes, clay forms pots, but the space within creates the essence of the pot. 30 spokes meet at a hub, but the space within them creates the essence of the wheel. Walls with windows, doors, and roof make the house, but the space within them creates the essence of the house. What concerns us in this brief exploration of space is the day-to-day, functional, existential space of the common person. It's the relationship with the space within that person's conscious and unconscious mind. Bhutakash, the measurable, tangible outer space of physical action, and Chitakash, the immeasurable, intangible inner space within our mind. Both are always reciprocally interacting and influencing each other. Isn't our journey in life basically our journey through different outer and inner spaces? Our values and attitudes that reside in our inner space shape our outer built spaces. Like our earlier attitudes of sanctity and respect towards water shape these spaces. And now, with water as a mere commodity, that can be carelessly wasted and polluted, we have these spaces. Our food storage spaces, when food was considered sacred and as a gift from God. And when food has also become a commodity that can be bought, sold, and wasted. Don't today's overcrowded, cluttered environments reflect our inner clutter? Aren't these gaudy, gimmicky, commercial environments expressions of a greedy and consumerist inner space? We had interesting, organic, unpredictable, interactive streets and spaces. They have now become so monotonously boring, repetitive, secured, and predictable. Thus, becoming expressions of our closed-in, insular, isolated, insecure, and mistrusting inner space. Haven't our changing attitudes also changed our urban landmarks? Similarly, this outer space is also affecting our inner space, our spirit, moods, and feelings. Spaces that help in calming and soothing us. Spaces that are making us irritable, impatient, anxious, and tense. Don't some spaces tend to heal and rejuvenate us? whereas some spaces make us depressed, sick, and exhausted. Which is why, on 16 March 1972, the US Supreme Court ordered the demolition of Pruitt-Igoe, a famous housing landmark of modern American architecture in St. Louis, because its spaces made the residents sick, depressed, antisocial, and violent. Then, what could be the salient physical and psychological factors that lend these peculiar positive and negative qualities to our daily spaces? Multiple, tangible, intangible, intermeshed, interwoven factors, all synergizing to create that ultimate holistic experience of space. Different shapes and forms create different spatial experiences. So does the quality of light. The quality of sound too adds a new dimension to the same space. Different scales, proportions, and volumes articulate the space. The space changes when the width changes. And even when the height is modified. Wouldn't varying the degree of opacity and transparency change the spirit of the same space? The removal of the tree and plants can take away some of the charm too. Diverse materials, textures, and colors have the potential to alter the spatial ambience. Spaces created with indigenous materials display a natural, organic warmth. As against those built or clad with imported alien materials. Different materials and their structural spanning systems influence the quality of space too. The spatial character is decided by the structure's response to climate. Even different socio-cultural perceptions and behavior will create different organizational patterns and varied types of spaces. Varied activities add a new dimension to the quality of space. Diverse spaces are created in response to diverse religious beliefs. Intangible factors like memory and emotional conditionings can also alter the spatial experience. Each person's unique mental state can decide on the spatial experience. Beautiful space ignored by the irritated mind. A dirty, drab lane ignored by the happy, joyous mind. Movement enables the intriguing unfolding of spaces. Even the physically and mentally challenged people experience space in their own very special way. All these factors and many more lend that unique character to each space. We now see that space is such an important constituent of our existential makeup, without which we cannot exist, not even for a nanosecond. When an improved quality of our outer space can help in improving the quality of our lives, Why are we so insensitive to it and take it for granted? Why are we so disrespectful and indifferent to our living spaces? Can we bring about that sense of order, harmony, and beauty in our spaces and in our lives? Why do we take pride in living in spaces that are so commercial, cluttered, vulgarly conspicuous, overconsumptive, expensive, and non-sustainable? Can we live in spaces that are simple, uncluttered, dignified, and sustainable? This unsustainable consumption takes a toll on nature's space. Leading to climate change with erratic floods, hurricanes, and melting snow caps. What have we done to our modern day work environments? Can we not infuse some nature, beauty, and joy in them? Why were our earlier living spaces harmonious and unified with that sense of belonging and integrity? Why have they become so incongruous and fragmented with that sense of alienation? Do we need a dangerous, debilitating pandemic like COVID-19 to force us to take a pause and re-examine our lifestyle with its excessive consumption? Isn't our personal space being encroached upon? Why do we create, accept, and then tolerate this partial iniquity and injustice? Why do we divide? And then fight over these notional imaginary space boundaries? Can our true understanding of space help us to unify rather than divide? Can we feel space as that pause and silence in our lives? Can living as an inseparable part of this unified space inspire empathy in us? Can space encourage tolerance by granting each one their space? How can we create that space within and without, which could translate into greater harmony, compassion, and joy in our lives? Though this space is embodied in trillions of different forms and identities in this universe, aren't these forms essentially the same unqualified oneness and energy of this universe? Being one of these trillions of space containers myself, am I not everything and nothing? Then, wouldn't our inner space merge and become one with the wholeness of that omnipresent universal space? Thus, dissolving the Dvaita, the other.
Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate